Hello, I'm Tom fucking Hansen, welcoming you to another exciting edition of Fantasy Football Diarrhea, the show critics are calling Must Turn Off TV. Now, I know last week I spent a little bit too much time talking about the draft-thon, who played well, who quit, Mike and David. But this week, I want to dive right in. I want to talk about some matchups, I want to talk about projections, I want to talk about rankings, why we're there, whose team's doing what. I know last week I admit I probably was a little too excited to make, the next great poop joke or, to dog Mike's shitty-ass team. But not this week. I'm going to make amends. So here we go. I want to talk about what the Week 2 rankings would have been if I made a show. Just quickly run through it. Yanni, he'd still be at number 1. All his receivers went off. Eifert did really well. His defense got 21, got the W, stays at top. I move up 2. I jump Andrew with my high score. Brady and Hyde did really well for me. Brady just, the sum of all his training. Hyde doing that whoop, a quick little spin move for the touchdown. Andrew just moves down 1. He still won. He beat Ricky. His team didn't look particularly strong, but he put up 92 points, so that's good. Max Peterson was a dud, but Gronk, just continued to do things that only Gronk can do. Got you the W, move up 1. Chad moved down 2 with the lame duck. It's never good. Wilson was your high score of 15.1, which isn't too bad, but it's not the greatest. Chris is up 2. Witten got you 18 points. That's awesome from tight end. Your running backs were kind of duds, but good score. Good respectable score. Mike moves up 4. Ellington got injured, but he still put up a really solid performance. He's up 4. Courtney's up 4 as well. Kelsey just also went off among the multiple tight ends that did really well that week. Foster's still out 4. You got the loss, but your team still looks really good, so you're up 4, which is surprising. Ricky, you're down 2. Sean Jackson got injured for you. Second lowest score thanks to a point adjustment. You were the lame duck, but for some reason somebody's score got adjusted, and you're no longer the lame duck. That's Chad's. Sarah's down 1. DeAndre Hopkins and Forte both got 20-plus points, but the rest of your team couldn't live up to the hype. You're down 1. Eric's also down 1. My boy Julio tried to do everything in his power to get you the win. Got you 26.1 points, but you still couldn't pull it off. You're down 1. And then David, Dez is injured, broken foot. You got no bench. Running backs are, just questionable. You're down to the last. You're down 5 spots. Number 12. Sorry about that, David. But moving right along, I want to talk about some of the matchups that happened after that last week. One of them I want to talk about is the matchup between Andrew and Max. Max was our high scorer that week. I could go on and on about how Peterson bounced back, did really well for him. How Gronk just continued to dominate his position, prove himself worthy of that second round pick. I could talk about Big Ben, Ben the rapist, once again getting away with rape. He scored like 30-something points. But instead, I want to talk about Andrew and his courageous act of just mentorship and dedication to this league. And you might be there wondering, what is he talking about? Well, you might know that Andrew lost. You might know that he got a just terrible score. But what you might not know is that he did this for a reason, or at least I believe he did. I believe he has taken the newcomer of our league, the rookie of the league, Courtney, under his wing. And he spent last week, just hammering home a few important notes and points on things and mistakes to try and not make to win this glorious league we call the Legend of the Hidden Pigskin. And while I would have just simply talked to her about it, or maybe briefly mentioned it, in conversation over dinner or breakfast or in a text or something, Andrew, he's like, no, I've got to show and not tell. And, the first point he hammered home was he demonstrated the difference between starting a player, with a projection, a player, or maybe with a good write-up, or a player facing with a good matchup, a player you just believe in, over starting a player with a giant red O by his name, as he did with Alshon Jeffrey. Typically the players with giant red O's by their name are projected to not only get 0 points, but 0 carries, 0 plays, 0 passes, 0 pads on their body, maybe even 0 plane trips to the game. So not normally a good start, but he made sure she knows that now, and I think she does. Secondly, he clarified the impossibility of winning any game in which you score lower than every single other team in the league. Not only did he do that, he scored 22.2 points lower than the second lowest score. And he went the distance by allowing his kicker to be his high score with a measly 9 points. Just went all out. And, it's just really brave of him, courageous. Again, I think you could have just talked to her about this, Andrew. I think you could have just been like, hey, don't start out players. You got to get more points than the person you're winning to win, or the person you're playing to win. But kudos, Andrew. I respect it. And Courtney, you're lucky to have a mentor like Andrew, showing you the ropes. But yeah, next matchup I want to talk about is Sarah and Eric's. It was a good matchup with relatively high scores. Both got close to 90, I believe. But Sarah was ultimately left needing a measly 1 point to win. She lost by 1 point. And just to put that in perspective, if every non-defensive, non-kicker player on her team just ran for merely 1.5 yards-ish, she would have won. If her kicker just kicked one more extra point, she would have won. Eric's kicker kicked one less, she would have won. If I was out there, if I was in the NFL, which I easily could do, but if I was out there, she drafted me, I was on her team, and I'm on the line of scrimmage, whip my dick out, bend it in half around the football and hike and, just throw it out there like a dove. Not only would I have gotten the team the first down, probably won the Super Bowl, but I would have also gotten Sarah the W. That's how close she was. Sarah, sorry for the loss, tough loss, but hopefully you'll bounce back this week. Playing an 0-2 David, so one of you's got to win. But yeah, that brings me to my Week 3 power rankings. No. Here they are. I'm going to move you a little closer so you can take a gander. Up top, you got Max. He jumps me. He got the high score last week, so like I jumped Andrew, he jumps me. I stay at number 2. We're both 2-0, though. Yanni falls to number 3. He lost to me last week, but he still has a good core set of receivers. His running backs are, starters. They're not really the best, but they're, going to get some carries, so reliable. Mike's all the way up to number 4 from starting at 11th at the beginning of the year, so kudos to him. He's 2-0. They actually play each other, so, I might have been wrong to rank Yanni's above Mike since Mike hasn't lost, but he can prove me wrong this week. Courtney's up to number 5. She started off dead last in the league, so good climbing on her part. Chad's at number 6. I think his team, that's a good spot for him. He's got this team that I feel like could be really good. So he's got some room to grow, but I feel like his team could also, just flounder. So he's got some room to fall. So, Chad, just gotta go where your team's gonna take you. Andrew's falling number 7. Chris, Eric, and Ricky here, all 1-1. I'm playing Eric, so he's playing undefeated team. Tough matchup for him. Chris is playing Max, another tough matchup, 2-0 team. Then down here at the bottom, you got Sarah and David, both 0-2. Playing each other, though, so one of them's got to get the W. But yeah, so that'll do it. We got Max, myself, Yoni, Mike, Courtney, Chad, Andrew, Chris, Eric, Ricky, Sarah, and David. And those are our Week 3 power rankings. And that's it for my show. So from all of us here at Fantasy Football Diarrhea, may all your Monday morning beer poops be soothed by yet another fantasy football victory. Good night.